Blood when the doctor clicks on the third patient profile. I couldn't help but show a panicked look on my face. The body of the person in the photo is floating on the ground. There's it on the back. A forest of white bones. The eye sockets are completely sunken in, turned into two black holes. To say that it is human is more like a mutated reptile. He has a strong thirst for blood. Once completely infected, there are no conigers. Gao Peng frowned and asked if his eyebrows were not contagious. The doctor immediately replied yes. This patient was tested by us. It is indeed no longer contagious. After that, Gao Peng went to the ward under the leadership of the doctor. The doctor was indifferent. This is a specially renovated ward. Even if it is attacked by the peak boss level, it can also last for an hour. Please rest assured, Mr. Gao. Patients who have been infected for more than a month are inside. Phantom City seemed to be the voice heard. The face of a true spirit was pressed against the glass wall. Roaring like a zombie, rows of data suddenly appeared. Monster name, green worm poison bug. Infected monster level 3. Monster quality, normal quality. Monster attribute, poison gas. Gao Peng looked at the patient who was no longer human. A soft sigh, then connect the growing brain rabbit through blood and gas. You scan the hospital. At this time, the growth brain is being dropped by Xiao Yin over the hospital. The power of the mind is like a transparent wave of light. Sweep the entire hospital. But when the scan results come in, Gao Peng couldn't help but feel numb on his scalp. The whole hospital, all covered with dense, little white faces. And these are the larvae of the green worm poisonous insects. What's wrong, Mr. Gao? Your expression is weird. Gao Peng hurriedly apologized and was embarrassed. The patient looked a little scary. It's okay for the doctor to nod slightly. Did Mr. Gao make any other discoveries? Gao Peng lied when he heard it, and he had no clue. Wait until you go back to find the road book. Ask him what he can do. With that, he strode out of the ward. The doctor behind him looked a little gloomy. Gao Peng just left the hospital. The voice of the growing brain came to my head. To kill these little ones. Bugs, Gao Peng asked him to wait. Start by scanning the entire city. You don't have to give yourself a picture. Just tell me what's going on. A moment later, the voice of the growing brain came to my head. At present, it is not spread throughout Hangzhou, but some of the streets still have walls, and on the clothes of pedestrians are parasitic with this larvae. Gao Peng's brows furrowed after hearing this. Although these larvae can be exterminated, but if you can't completely strangle the head, it doesn't help at all. So let Lu Xiaolu. Take yourself to the site of the first outbreak of the plague. A few minutes later, the two came to Nanxiang Orthopedic Hospital. It was here that the first cases were detected. Then, Lu Xiaolu said in a panic that the inside had been blocked. Because when the reaction comes, almost more than 90% of people are infected, including a lot of doctors. Gao Peng asked the technician after hearing this, "Do you know what to do in this situation?" The technician replied in 2 seconds. Bugs like this parasite generally kill large insects. The little bugs are almost all dead, but I don't know where the mother worm is behind it. Gao Peng then asked Lu Xiaolu about literature and art. How it first broke out. You should call up the surveillance. Did you find anything? But Lu Xiaolu was speechless. At this time, Chun Sheng, the man beside him, said, "We did have some findings. It's just that there is no clear evidence and can't be sure. I am Li Meng of the Hangzhou City Criminal Investigation Brigade." Gao Peng responded to him, shaking hands hello. Li Meng continued, "In fact, we have been suspicious for a long time. It's just that there hasn't been enough power. Take him directly. It's trickier. We can't guarantee that after taking him, the plague will not get out of control completely. Now it's all up to you." Gao Peng's eyes lit up after opening the folder. It turned out to be him. On the face of the man, he is an angel in white who saves lives and helps the wounded. Secretly, but at home to raise plague supplements. Let the patients who have medicine and treatment be reduced. 4 bloodthirsty and furious zombies. Just now, Zhuge Liang came home from work in the hospital at night. Take off your coat and remove the mural on the wall. Enter the code against the combination lock hidden behind it. A stone door to the basement slowly opened. Zhuge Liang turned on the chandelier in the basement. A scene in front of me. Let him have an obsessive look on his face. Look at yourself as a jade beast. Zhuge Liang made a strange small sound in his throat. This is my strength. Those who all laughed at me. All those who looked down on me. I can let them die at any time. Wait until my subworms are spread all over Hanzhou. I can control the whole of Hanzhou. A bold thought came to mind. Maybe it's okay to pretend you found a cure for the plague. Such, you can get the status on the surface faster. No, it's easy to get handled. There is no shortage of smart people in this world. Immediately after that, his expression suddenly changed to his real name. Then kill a few people first to have a good time. Anyway, now the plague is outbreaking. A few people died in the plague. It's a normal thing. At this moment, a voice suddenly came from behind him. Finally found it. Zhuge Liang didn't look back. Hurry up and run to your own pre-sale. At this time, to turn back is to die. As long as you pre-sell, it is the safest to be around. Unexpectedly, he just took a step. I feel like I'm getting colder. The body has been frozen into ice cubes. I saw the power of ice condensed in the technician's hands. It's boring. It's too easy, too. After that, Gao Peng came to the frozen Zhuge Liang sound card. This Zhuge Liang thought he was hiding God. In fact, his identity has long been suspected. Just to avoid things getting out of hand, he was not directly arrested. One cannot underestimate the seriousness of a government, the consolidation power that can be exerted. Then he turned his head to look at the patient in the culture collar. This thing is the mother worm of the bird on which he depends. There is no Lord Potion yet. It's just the boss level. Can cause such a large-scale plague. Rows of data suddenly appeared. Monster name, Green Mother Motherworm. Monster level, level 40. Monster quality, perfect quality. Monster attribute poison. Monster ability expansion breeding level 2. Strengthens the plague level 1 monster trait female worm poison sac. At this time, the green temperature motherworm was killed because of its owner. Affected by blood gas reflexes. Has an extreme hatred for Gao Peng. It became violent on the spot. Angry commands all the subworms in the basement. Fly to Gao Peng. Seeing this, Gao Peng Lung Hung was overwhelmed. The bald man shot. The voice is weak in the sky above the villa of the growth brain. Unleash the power of the mind. Powerful spiritual power swept around. It is like a net covering the range. All the green-tempered insects were not spared. They were deprived of their souls and killed in seconds. When this huge spiritual force crashed into the motherworm, the mother screamed bitterly. There was green blood spilling out of his breath. Gao Peng was a little surprised when he saw this. A rabbit's psychic shock should be eaten. It's still so energetic. The rabbit gave him another punch. The growth of the brain listens to the aftermath. Embarrassed to say, but that one was already my strongest attack. Gao Peng was a little speechless when he heard this. The strongest attack actually couldn't kill a Chairman Lin. Wang Ji's shame. The technician on his shoulder was so indifferent that I would have come up. Gao Peng told him not to worry. Anyway, the situation is basically under control. Just let me practice my bravery. So the order was given to the growing brain. Suggest with your mind, constantly stacking. Finally listen to my password and explode at once. Accompanied by Gao Peng's mouth, he output Tai Li Wen. The female worm's fat body exploded instantly. The brain of growth sees this. The duty to show joy. It turns out that I can still kill enemies like this. Subsequently, Gao Peng left the basement, and I went up first. The technician froze the corpse of the bug. It's good to turn around. The technician wields the power of ice. My colleague said, remember to give me 2 boxes of Ice Crispy Bones. Gao Peng came to the living room. Keep thinking in your heart if there is no one to guide you. The growth brain may be. Starve to death in the desert. Die of thirst for a few prey. Ability also has to be developed and practiced in order to exert real power. Maybe it can also be used to brainwash monsters. If you can brainwash from a young age, even if you don't sign the flesh. I can also have a legion of monsters. Let him first remove the remaining subworms in Hanzhong. Solve it all. But before that, you have to dress him first. A growing horse in a marshmallow coat. It looks so cute. So he happily flew towards the Han Chinese style. The high friends below told me to kill them cleanly. Don't miss a larva. At this time, Gao Peng looked at the starry sky. Said indifferently that this time it was so much of a favor for Hanzhong. There must have been a lot of official reports. Grandfather, we will also strive for an outcome that is satisfactory to both parties. It's been a bit long to come out this time. It's time to go home. He was a terrifying, holy white dragon. But now he is being eaten. The Dragon King came to the door to ask for a romantic battle. Just now. Such as the sky over the city of St. Trey in the Korean district. A black dragon roared in rage. The city of St. Terra at his feet was in a panic. The fire was burning all living things. On the back of a dragon, standing stood a man in a black cloak. A strong voice resounded through the city of St. Terra. Only the strong can make the rules of the world. Start today. The city of St. Tay declares its independence. We are subordinate to the World Alliance government, but the position within the city of St. Tyre. No one is allowed to interfere in the tasks and all internal affairs. And in the city of True in the South Egypt district, a mouthful of golden light floated in the air. At this time, a bandaged arm protrudes from the golden crown. A mummy floats in front of the pyramid. A bright light rose behind him. The city of True declared its independence today, subordinate only to the World Union government. But all the housekeeping of the city of True, appointed and dismissed from within the city of True. Meanwhile, Neon Ward Ueda Castle, a four-walled contract, stands under a giant cherry tree. The blindfolded samurai holding a token before his death, said in a cold voice that the cherry blossom god has an order. Start today. God will take over all things in Ueda Castle. And in a hidden room, 6 virtual figures surround a round table. Then the white-masked man suddenly asked, "We're all done raising the flag, but why are you slipping down? There is no motivation yet." The yellow-masked man let out a cold breeze. "Are we playing on the same difficulty? I'm next door to Yujo. Do you remember whose base camp is Yujo?" The man in the white mask heard this. "It's just a disdain for a king's beast. Chinese people are timid." The man in the yellow mask listened to the light that Home Musheng said in France. "It's just a jade beast. Try it in your heart." And who said it was a news-laden old guy? Now it's the words of the master of the 2 king pole jade beasts. As soon as this remark came out, the masked men present all showed their faces in surprise and death. At this time, a blue-masked man arrived indifferently, because there is a common purpose. Partners who are still together. Now the goal is almost there. In fact, even 1 or 2 pieces of the puzzle are missing. Now the most important thing is the next step. Meanwhile, the top floor of the Nantian Tower. Both Cambrian hands behind him stand in front of the floor-to-ceiling windows. A stable day that finally came. It's going to be messy again in a few days. Gao Peng behind him listened. Isn't it normal to wave your hand before confronting a life-threatening catastrophe? It's not enough for everyone to work together. Not to mention that life is getting better and better now. But here's what's interesting. The rest of the regions are in disarray. It's pretty quiet in our Huaxia area. Hongwen chuckled. Because they can't be sure. Our attitude is history. Is it all right? A new profession for relationship shuffling. It doesn't matter what your status was before the cataclysm. As long as you dare to fight, add a certain amount of luck, you can become a strong man. These people need to shelter a city. Sometimes you have to face Lord-level monsters. or fight the monster tide. It's all risky. Take on such a level of risk. It is also subject to the supervision of the local government. The results are not as good as expected. Over time, it is natural to have different ideas. Gao Peng nodded slightly after listening. Even if these people don't have any ideas on their own, the people around them will definitely give them ideas. It's like Zhao Kuangying's yellow robe. It's all involuntary abandonment. Han Wu said naughty angrily. These people who are now in the early stages are only considered to have chosen confidants. In ancient times, it was the rebellion of some small princes. As long as the imperial army is assembled, pacification is a matter of time. Gao Peng nodded and said yes. In fact, what the imperial court is really afraid of are those great princes. For example, a person who owns 2 king jade beasts. Following Cambrian thought of his 2 king pole jade beasts. I couldn't help but sigh. Just because I won the other day. The Dragon King took his son to find the white dragon. I asked for something else to say back then, and he signed an evil spirit. At this time, Gao Peng called and said that Xiao Bai is really powerful. Stay at home well. Such a big daughter-in-law. I came to the door by myself. Also with a big fat son. Following Cambrian listening. Embarrassed to say that the big fat son is really fat. Gao Peng then went on to analyze the current situation. The rebels should only be a loose organization. After all, it depends on their mode of action. It's not like it's disciplined. Some are challenging the 12 veterans, but some directly attacked and killed the patriarch. The air is cold, and he snorts, just a group of clowns who jump off the beam. And the 12 veterans are just a face project. At the beginning, I also invited the past. I wondered if it was the chairman who was uncomfortable in front of him. I also have to run for other people. At this time, Huangya came to the office. Interrupted the conversation between the two. The state of high and undercounting directors is a bit serious. He was the feared White Goose King. But he was frightened by a black shadow and turned into a small loach. Was instantly killed by a black shadow. Greedy to death in the lake, breathless, just now. Huangya came to the office to report the situation. Yesterday, 5 districts declared independence. The government of the World Union urgently announced. These 5 districts are on the blacklist. Sanctions were imposed on these 5 districts at the same time. Send an army and the imperial history to judge him by force. Then, this morning, it was increased to 7 districts. Among them is the populous Inyang district. And the latest news. Guojinduo, one of the 12 veterans of Inyang district. The cave is on the top of Putua Mountain. His pre-sale terrain Yiksha was torn in half. Blood stained half of the cliff red. And the full name of the Gashi, who killed Pokorindo, is Puli. He is only 22 years old this year. It is known as the most talented imperial history in the Yin and Yang area. His pre-sale is a Wangji imperial beast. It's called the Dark Azura. I'm now uploading the footage taken by the witnesses. In the picture is a street in Inyang district. Behind the boy, it is a humanoid monster with a pitch-black body. The monster is 3 meters tall, covered in golden armor. It has a pair of blood-red wings. A sound effect is revealed to the camera. Rows of data suddenly appeared. Monster name, Derek Isure. Monster level 52 episodes. Wangji monster quality perfect quality. Monster ability, dark power level 5. Strength boost level 3 mind boost level 3. Super strength, level 3 monster trait, dark comet. Gao Peng looked at the data. Thoughtfully. Has a monster trait. Illustrate the pinnacle quality of this monster. Also reached epic. The perfect quality of Wangji is no longer weak. It also has dark attributes and melee combat characteristics, somewhat similar to After the White Dragon. Huang Yagan remembered Han Wuda's small report, that Warren really doesn't know how thick the sky is. Yesterday, at a local cocktail party, to say that his pre-sale is definitely the most in the world. Strong pre-sale. The pre-sale is better than Ning and Gao Shao. Hearing these words, his face was gloomy in an instant, and Gao Peng said that it didn't matter. As long as you don't provoke us. Continue to collect information and multiple surveillance. Then he asked with a straight look, didn't Lao Huang and God say that you have a clue? How's it going? Huangya immediately opened the channel after listening. Xiao Dong News. It was confirmed that someone had been at the foot of MT Goddess. I saw the rocks turn into birds and beasts at night. The image of the daytime recondensed into rocks. The news of the fixing stone should be true. Gao Peng Wenyin immediately decided that it was better to choose a day than to hit the day. Tomorrow's New Year's Day is a good sign. Set off towards the Goddess Peak. Dzi can also evolve as soon as possible. These words happened to be heard by Dzi. The corners of his mouth hooked an arrogant arc. Did he hear it? Gao Peng said that I should evolve today. Better than all of you. The next day, Wuxiao River. A man wears a hat. Fishing in the river in a shuttle suit. Next to a passing pleasure boat. My sister couldn't help but say to my sister, that man is so pretending. Actually fishing here. After hearing this, my sister reprimanded her and went out. Don't talk nonsense. Beware of the misfortune that comes out of the mouth. But my sister didn't care. Thinks that the man is clearly pretending to be a ghost. At this time, a whirlpool suddenly appeared on the surface of the river. Visible, a real name of bad water appeared on the riverside. The body of the White Goose King's boat glowed with the light of a blue lord. There was a strong, murderous aura in his eyes. The mocking fisherman swam away slowly. The sister on the rumor shouted loudly, the fishing brother is leaving. The White Goose King is dangerous. At this time, Gao Peng raised his head slightly. There was a coldness on my face, and I heard a bang. Abin suddenly got up from the river, set off thousands of tall wax. When the White Goose King saw this, he was stunned at what the hell this was. I just thought the territory was violated. Then just come out and have a look. I saw the size of Abin a few hundred meters, standing on the river. Seeing this, the White Hungry King hurriedly dived into the water. Gao Peng wanted to run when he saw this Lung Hung. Abin took him down. It can be seen that the 100-meter-long pig's claws fall from the sky. It was as if a needle of the sea god shook into the bottom of the river, set off thousands of tall wax. The White Goose King's abdomen was instantly frozen, paralyzed on the surface of the sea, motionless. The two sisters on the cruise ship saw this. They were dumbfounded, and the White Goose King died like this. After a moment, the knife shed looked at the map in his hand, muttering that he has passed through the Lantern Wind, Shengxian Peak and Chaoyan Peak. In front of it is the Goddess Peak. Then, there was a strange leaf-like movement in the Dark Mountain, and the Dark Mountain officially flew to Fengshan. It is rumored that Diyu encountered difficulties when he controlled the water. Based on this, Yao gave Diyu the method of water control. Gao Peng thought of this. Sneered. It's hard to imagine that a book will fly out of it. A white paper suddenly flew out of the waterfall. Gao Peng was dumbfounded when he saw this, and he really didn't lose. I saw the white paper fly out of Feifeng Mountain. There was no movement at the Goddess Peak. Gao Peng is sure that there must be a strange Abin in this wind. You're aiming too big right now. Wait and eat a camouflage fruit. We climbed up. After that, we followed the mountain road to the peak. Abin followed closely behind. At this time, Gao Peng suddenly saw one. Lifelike little flywheels hover in the air. Unexpectedly, the form quietly changed, turned into a pair of bling scissors. Don't look at the appearance of this stone is unremarkable. Didn't think about it. He can be transformed into a mysterious beauty like a fairy. Just now, Gao Peng set off. Go to the Goddess Peak to find the materials needed for the Great Purple Purification. Suddenly, I found that there was a black dragon hovering in the sky. But the form of the next black dragon quietly changed, turned into a pair of bling scissors. And he is Gao Peng. This time I came to look for the use of concentration. Then we walked up the mountain road. I came to a mountain road that was not even written on a map. I saw it right in the middle of the valley. A graceful goddess is dancing. But when Gao Peng blinked his eyes, the goddess suddenly vanished. Only one boulder remained in its place. Rows of data suddenly appeared. Monster name, witch goddess, monster level, 51. King set monster quality, elite quality. Monster attributes, Yinshi mystical monster ability, climate. Up to level 4. Hardness levels 4. But Gao Peng was not in a hurry to take down Miss Shun. Instead, take Abin to explore the surroundings. But the scene in front of him shocked him. I saw a pool of clear spring water hanging upside down in the sky. The condensed water balloon speaks out of mouth. Trespassers die. System data reappears. Monster name, Holy Spirit Spring, monster level, samurai level. Lord level monster quality, Shure's quality. Monster attribute water system. Monster ability enhancement recovery level 3. The reflection of the level 4 monster characteristics of the Spirit Spring Vortex is complete. Right now, behind the knife shed, suddenly flew the witch and the girl. In a huge white paper, the knife shed raised an eyebrow. It seems inevitable that there will be wolves in front and tigers in the back. The system data pops up again. Monster name, Dragon Slaying Chapter Genus. Monster level, 5th Century Lord. Monster attributes, Water monster quality, legendary quality. Monster ability, Water elemental control level 4. Strengthens and upgrades the monster trait to level 3 and slashes the dragon's edge. And what shocked Gao Peng was this book. It's a wild, legendary quality monster. At this time, the projection of 3 Abins suddenly appeared in front of him. But none of the levels are more than 50. Moreover, it's just a projection of Abin in disguise. Gao Peng breathed a sigh of relief when he saw this. Ask them why they're in the way. If you don't get out of the way, don't blame yourself for being unkind. The chapter of slaying the dragon between the guests quickly turned the page. An invisible layer of ripples envelopes an area of several kilometers. Gao Peng. It feels like there's an extra layer of plastic film on your body. I thought it should be the waters of the dragon slaying chapter. Xin Xiao. However, this ability was useless to him and Abin. At this time, Abin's projection swung a giant pig's claw at Gao Peng. Seeing this, Gao Peng shouted loudly, "You did it first." Abin defeated him. Give him a breath of air. The voice fell. Abin's camouflage fruit effect is torn apart. The size of the body skyrocketed to the 600-meter zone in an instant. Smash 3 projections into a pile of rubble. The dragon slaying chapter dodges and opens the distance in time. But the Holy Spirit fountain did not react at all. Directly crushed the body, turned into a small blue bowl, and fell to the ground. Gao Peng picked him up casually. There was a slight difference in the looks. This is the person who was broken, fallen into a deep slumber of the Holy Spirit fist. This is a row of data that appears on the fist of the Holy Spirit. Monsters can be fused, just as Gao Peng pondered the meaning of integration. Witch Lady Shun took the opportunity to flee backwards. Abin then stretched out his paw to stop him. Unexpectedly, Miss Shun suddenly burst into a dazzling light. The dazzling light made Gao Peng quickly cover his eyes. Through the gaps in your fingertips, I vaguely saw the beauty of a yellow dress. The goddess rushed towards Abin. At this time, Abin's eyes radiated a monstrous flame. Unleash the skill scourge clouds. Violent flames erupted around Lady God, slowly falling downward. Gao Peng looked at the black and delicate goddess who was burned. I can't help but sigh that it's so miserable. And when noticing the goddess, attribute baskets also appear to be translucent that can be blended. Brah! At this time, Gao Peng noticed the dragon slaying chapter of the escape. I actually want to run away. Creative. However, Abin happens to be the king of the earth. Directly, Abin smacked the pig's claws into the earth. The rich earth element seems to emanate from all around. The elements coalesce into hard crystals. The dragon-slaying chapter was captured alive on the spot. Gao Peng said triumphantly, "There should be nothing now. Stop me from looking for the fixing stone." A moment later, Gao Peng found 2 fixing stones in the depths of the valley. The operation was a complete one. Not only did he get 2 fixing stones, it also comes with 3 excellent monsters. Gao Peng then pointed to the wizard in front of him. "It's such a great place. Let's go back first. Next time I'll continue to search for melons." He was a mediocre purple boulder. It can take up to 100 years of pregnancy. Actually gave birth to a pair of cute and lovely boys and girls. Unexpectedly, the child was born. Recognize a man you don't know as your master. Just now, Gao Peng sat on Abin's back and returned to the fishing boat. Just as he was thinking about the purification materials of the eldest son, the mind fixer behind him suddenly began to shake violently. Accompanied by a crack exploded in the surface of the obedient gazetteer entity. A pair of boys and girls suddenly appeared beside Gao Peng. Gao Peng was instantly stunned when he saw this. "I saw 2 boys suddenly kneeling, oranges in hand," said softly to Gao Peng, "Master, do you eat oranges? It's delicious," and rows of data suddenly appear. Monster name: Orange Dryad Monster Level 21. Boss Monster Quality: Elite Quality. Monster Attributes: Wood-based, Life-based. There are some differences. Could it be those half-dead bureaus on Abin? Do you become? There are some chances. Then he looked very nervously at the concentration behind him. Thankfully, the broken ones are small. The big one is big enough for purification. Then he named the 2 with a helpless face. Later outside, "You claim to be the sons of Songju under the seed of Abin. Your name is Nanju. Your name is Beichi, 2 little guys." Hearing this, he said in unison that he was a good master. Then, a man at Abin's feet shouted loudly for Gao Peng. "Is it Gao Peng above?" And this person is Gao Peng's old classmate, Chen Hanxiao. Chen Hanxiao then said to the man in the car, "Uncle Li, this is my high school classmate. I'll talk to him for a few words." Gao Peng then got down from Abin and drank with him. "Not bad. Lao Chun has already pulled out his team." Chen Hanxiao smiled indifferently. "You're now the world's top prison history. You're the best of our old classmates. Temporarily go out and say it's your high school classmate. It's quite face-saving." At this time, Songju was compassionate. Only suddenly handed him an orange. Chen Hanxiao was stunned for a moment. Gao Peng smiled when he saw this, "So eat it while it's hot." Chen Hanxiao joked that he hadn't seen him for so long. "As soon as we meet, you will take advantage of me." Gao Peng then asked, "Are you on a mission?" Chen Hanxiao wrapped oranges indifferently. Shima just took an order. Inclination angle of Golden Buddha Mountain. Someone saw a group of mutated monsters there. "Let's go clean up." The monster is also in the Explorers Guild. Enacted mandates. I heard that it is a very rare mutated monster, very aggressive towards humans. With that, he left and returned to the convoy. There is time to lift again. Gao Peng nodded slightly, remembering to come to the fishing boat. "I'll treat you to dinner." When Chen Hanxiao left, Gao Peng's expression suddenly became a little gloomy. Explorers Union. Didn't my grandfather and the coalition government form it together? Nothing will happen. After returning to the Nantian group, the North Guide Bureau took out oranges one after another. Let Su Qing only taste. Before he could react, 2 cuties kept throwing oranges around him. "Find and say that your oranges are more delicious. Don't eat each other's." Su Qing just couldn't stand it. "Let Gao Peng take care of them quickly." Gao Peng coughed. "This orange is quite delicious. You eat more." Then he turned his head and asked the Z seriously, "Are you ready?" The Z immediately replied that it was ready. Gao Peng continued. Chen Sheng asked, "But once you decide, there will be no chance to regret it again." The Z's expression is still firm, and I definitely don't regret it. Gao Peng then asked Chen Sheng, "You Probably no longer a pure centipede. Dazee was interviewed. Patted his head. Gao Peng. Why are you babbling? I can't wait. Hurry up and hit me hard here. Gao Peng lit up slightly after hearing this. Look at the needle tube, the size of a bucket in your hand. Needly Lei Jiang wantonly. It seems that you have decided. Then come on. Don't look at this centipede's cute appearance. But now it has evolved into a dark gold oolong across breeds. Just now, Gao Peng's face was gloomy, holding a thunderbolt in his hand. Prepare for the purification of the purple. But Dazee couldn't wait for purification. Grab the needle and bite it and pour it into your mouth. Drink them all. Dazee erupted in violent purple electricity. Lying on the ground, 100 convulsions. Gao Peng had a premonition that something was wrong. Hurriedly rushed towards the door of the laboratory. Loudly reminded Su Qing not to be stupid. Come on. The two then ran to the lake outside the laboratory. Su Qing only asked the boss out of breath. Something happened. The laboratory behind the words exploded. The whole Shandong shook violently. Thunderstorms covered the sky. It emits an extremely rich, dark purple electric light. Su Qing's eyes widened in fright by this scene. The lab actually blew up. Gao Peng smiled indifferently. It was okay. I just wanted to change labs. I thought to myself, such a strong response. Evolution will surely succeed. Eldest son. At this time, a boulder was falling rapidly in the sky, steadily smashed on the top of Abin's head, who was taking a nap. Seeing this, Abin moved his right foot. A wall of earth rises from the ground, wrapped the entire mountain around the eldest son. No littering. At this moment, a deep purple electric light passed through the cracks in the earthen wall. Treat yourself to see the wall and probe violently. The temple of the sun of heaven swept the entire sky. Abin on the side was a little puzzled. Dazee, is this a substation lamp? And the white dragon couple in the lake. At the same time, look up at the sky. Feel the breath of a dragon in the purple temple. Directly behind Dazee, there are 3 pairs of black and purple dragon wings. Golden thunder wrapped around the surface of the body. The pupils turned dark gold, looking sacred and famous. Successfully evolved into a dark golden dragon. Rows of data suddenly appeared. The name of the monster is dark gold like a dragon. Monster level 48 episodes. Monster quality legendary quality monster attributes thunder leak. Monster abilities are exciting. The bones are as hard as brocade. Monster weakness. Restrain dragon attribute items and monsters. Monster trait, dark dragon wings. Passive effect increases flight speed. Each wing can store additional lightning power. And the number of dark dragon wings can be increased. The second monster trait is the hard eye. It is possible to spy on the mood swings of other monsters. Turn emotions into explosives. This detonates and deals substantial damage to the enemy. Gao Peng looked at the data and thought about it carefully. Careful, I should be a noun rather than an adjective. Maybe the eyes that grew out of the heart were really small. At this time, the eldest son flew to his side. How come I only have 2 pairs of claws left? I'm not used to it. Gao Peng explained softly. You're not just a centipede now. This is a normal change. Then I thought in my heart that the eldest son had successfully evolved. There are also 3 monsters in the dungeon. Fusion definitely requires material. They seem to have such a good relationship. Maybe it's just the 3 of them merging with each other. Just as he was thinking, suddenly the phone rings in his pocket. Once the phone is connected, I heard Chun Hanqiao's panting cry for help. Gao Peng helps. I didn't finish my words in the ditch at Jean Fo Mountain. The phone was hung up, and Gao Peng's eyes rang. Sure enough, something happened. After that, he took his eldest son with him. The dead spirit Buddha Mountain and Luoxia flew away. I saw the steep terrain in front of me, squatting in a group of people. And there are a lot of monsters under the cliff. Rows of data suddenly appeared. Monster name auxiliary chemical. Sure Luchuan. Monster level Level 11 to 20. Monster quality, normal quality. Elite quality monster, attribute, undead weapon. Surprise knife, shed to sea. There are some differences. These lost looks scare some people. Actually, there isn't even a boss. Chun Hanxiao's monster hunting team. There are exactly 7 bosses. Pre-sales shouldn't be besieged. So he let the eldest son fly forward. Take a closer look and see what's going on. Unexpectedly, a huge tide suddenly flew out of the forest. Grab hard at the abdomen of the eldest son. The eldest son was furious when he saw this. The sky was dyed purple. Dare to sneak attack the great Pudu Sitsi. Give me all death. At this time, Gao Peng stared down with a solemn face. I saw 3 masks standing on the ground. There was a flame tearing in front of them, and a 3-eyed duck general suddenly appeared behind Gao Peng. On the other side, a radiation giant crawled out of the woods. In a stone gold tribute line. They have all reached the Lord level. The formation of an encirclement angle gradually approached Gao Peng. Please recess 3-eyed duck will. A terrifying and strange name came out of his mouth. Take the lead in attacking Gao Peng. Dazi evolved into a dark gold Wulong, and then played Guoqiao, facing the bloodthirsty and furious 3-eyed suppressor. Only with the spear of the thunder of the FAW. You can kill it instantly. Just now, Gao Peng took Dazi to Jinfo Mountain and fell into the ditch. Rescue Chen Hanxiao, who was besieged by Shi Luchuan. Unexpectedly, he was surrounded by the pre-sale of the masked man. At this point, the 3-eyed rook will be the first to attack. 3 eyes burst into an eerie red. Countless small crows swooped forward. Gao Peng was stared at by 3 eyes. I felt a splitting headache instantly. Weakness. But the next moment, the feeling of not being suddenly dissipated. Gao Peng was wary, and it was actually a curse. If it weren't for the fact that the damage was transferred to Aben. I'm really feeling bad. It's not just him. Dazi Technician and Lu Guang. All have been weakened to varying degrees. The eldest son suffered a 3% weakening of power in all directions. Lu Guang, on the other hand, was weakened by 5% of his strength. The technician said indifferently, I was actually weakened by 1%. Gao Peng is strong and applauded. You are so powerful. How can I live without you? Then, the masked man saw Dazi dancing his teeth and claws in the sky. Mistakenly thought he was driven mad by a curse. Immediately ordered a rush to kill him. Hospitality room. The 3-eyed duck spews a cursed red light from its mouth. The radiation crab's tail on the ground spewed out a dark red temple. Bring the flame ripper together with his hands, blasting out the dark flames. The big purple arrow-like mouth condensed dazzling. Perform a new skill, Lei Yulian jet lag. Those endless thunderbolts descended on the heavens. It's like a tree blooming in the sky. Devour all incoming attacks. The masked man was stunned for a moment when he saw this. That's a whole 3 powerful lords. It was actually dissolved in an instant. I saw the big purple hanging high in the sky, like a thunder demon spirit stone. Purple electricity rained down all over the sky, like a thunder sea bat. The masked people have activated the elemental barriers. A human wave that barely resisted the power of thunder. The black-robed captain looking back. With Hong Yu Chun Sheng, said the pre-sale of the flat door. None of them have such a strong attack power. And these words happened to be heard by Gao Peng. There was a dangerous look in his eyes. It turned out to be a neon man. There are also masters who are not hidden. If not, then you can die. The masked people were furious. The stinky boy doesn't know how thick the sky is. Immediately ordered the 3-headed jade beast to attack the eldest son. Gao Peng saw this, whispered to Lu Guang, and said to go and clean them up. The voice fell. Lu Guang's figure suddenly disappeared in place. The black moment appeared in front of the masked man. The wind crossed its palms across their chests. There are 2 masked men after being injured. The figure flickered to other places. This kid still has an assassin in the royal hand, so let's get out first. In this scene, it happened to be discovered by Gao Peng, who was hanging in the air. Don't play with them anymore. Game over. Even if we go down first. Don't get in the way of the eldest son. Then he jumped off the back of the eldest son with the technician. The eldest son gave them a good time. It can be seen that Dzi erupted in violent purple smoke. The darkness behind him is easy to incite madness. Inside the fork, a thunderous spear pierced through the three eyes. Pressure drop on the chest. At this point, the Flame Ripper cast the claw of pressing face. Chow Dzi opera. But it was instantly shot down by Dzi's blow to the dragon's tail. At this moment, the radiation giant crab below suddenly burst into flames. Catch the falling Flame Ripper steadily. I saw the Flame Ripper standing on the back of the radiation crab. Unleash the power of the dark rock. Towards the big purple again. Dazi's symptoms are found. Instantly through the body of the radiant cancer. And the Flame Ripper took the opportunity to circle behind Big Purple. The dark edge of the dragon drill smashed hard into the thigh. Dzi stinged, and a trace of fierceness flashed in his eyes. I want you to die without a body. The eyes of the heart in the depths of the heart opened instantly. Flame Ripper. Translucent pink flames are entwined around it. It was the fire of anger. Bang! The Flame Ripper's body exploded. Gao Peng looked at the fire in the air. It's okay to nod slightly. This little I can actually crush the same level. And Lu Guang. He pointed to the corpse of the radiation cancer and treated people. This one was shot to death. Gao Peng immediately ordered. But you got the two that ran away. After that, he came to the bottom of the cliff to check Chun Hanxiao's injuries. But Chun Hanxiao was a little disappointed. Keep apologizing in your mouth. Gao Peng smiled solemnly. Their real purpose is that I don't even look for you. We'll also find other people. Speaking of which, it's me who is the one who is responsible for you. This is a middle-aged man. Can shoot the shameful descendants of Chun Hanxiao's traitor. It's just a setback. It's only been 5 years since the beginning of the cataclysm. We still have a chance to make a comeback. Then he said to Gao Peng with a solemn expression, Thank you for saving us. But this has nothing to do with you. We were attacked and blamed only for our lack of strength. This world is inherently the law of the jungle. But this thing is definitely not going to be left at that. Gao Peng's words made Gao Peng deeply moved. This Uncle Chun is very tenacious. The most important thing is that it is very bloody. It's a character. At this moment, a terrain demon mound suddenly drilled out of the ground. Seeing this, Chen Yanhua was indifferently impressed, and you didn't leave. Back then, I used a trap to catch you and disliked the signing. You've been reluctant to talk to me all these years. I thought you were hating me. Gao Peng asked Uncle Chen softly. Would you like to join Nantian Group? Chen Yanhua sighed. We don't have anything now. This pre-sale, I just saw that the situation was wrong. I don't want him to die in vain. The blood has also been lifted. After hearing this, Gao Peng thought that this was not a problem. The strength is good to improve. On the contrary, it is a rare character. Make the Jade Beast willing to sign with you a second time. The blood gradually Chun Chen's character. And at this time, the terrain mound is rubbing against the old clothes. Seeing this, Chen Yanhua no longer shirked. Since the high and the young see less. Then our father and son will follow the Nantian Group. Gao Penguinian nodded slightly, and Uncle Chun was polite. Let's go back to Nantian first, and then let go with some people. He was a fearsome tyrant of the sea. But once he was surrounded and suppressed by hunters. Watching the young daughter get by his mother. Take it away. He was kept in a cold iron cage for several years. But the appearance of Gao Peng gave him the hope to live again. Hope not only to help him find his long-lost daughter. It made him evolve into the unparalleled master of the sea bones. But Gao Peng hopes that he can have a better environment for growth. Let Dumb go to the Black Mist world to develop. Dumb understands the master's good intentions. But get down on your knees and swear to him that I will be stronger. So strong that no one can stop us from being together. Now, Dumb has become the overlord of the migration lands. Undead, the scale of natural disasters has reached tens of thousands. It's time to go back and reunite with the owner you haven't seen in a long time. Just now after Gao Peng returned to Nantian Villa, Chao shouted loudly for the rabbit to come out. There's work to do. Turning in Luo, the growth brain suddenly emerges from the lake. There was a whole bunch of monsters all around. They just opened their mouths to call him. Gao Peng was stunned for a moment when he saw this. I'm just letting you try to shoot the Yangtze River. You're here to play Journey to the West for me. Then he asked with a solemn expression, aren't you able to read memories? I read the memory of these two people. I want to know who dares to plot against me. The growing brain then explained that it was able to read memories. But it's rude. Creatures that read memories in this way, most will turn out to be idiots. Gao Penguinian immediately said that he didn't need to take care of it. Just get the information. The more detailed, the better. After hearing this, the growth brain exuded the aura of a lord. The milky white tentacles faced the giant's body. When the tentacles pierced behind the two heads, start reading memories from the depths of your mind. I found the host. They are spies planted in the Neon District by the martyrs. Then he was sent by the Neon District to attack and kill. They received orders before departure to disguise yourself as a member of the Faceless Society. After hearing this, Gao Peng had some differences in such a complicated relationship. So it can be understood that this is a person from the Heroic District, or after being broken by Neon's death. If you want to do it, you can do it. Woe is coming to the east. Then he asked with a frown. There is not a single definitive message. The brain of growth shook its head, and it was gone. Gao Peng sighed helplessly. It was really messy. What bulls, ghosts, snakes, and gods have run out. I really thought I had a good temper. Feel free to pinch it isn't. This is what Xiao Yin suddenly hesitated about. Both are bad guys. We just clean up one by one. Gao Peng nodded slightly. You are right. The people who sneaked up on them were indeed from the Neon District. That's enough. Now all I need is a reason, and not the truth. Meanwhile, the migratory land of the Black Mist world. Tens of thousands of armies of the undead lined up neatly. Dumb stood in front of him, and Chen Sheng was under the ghost of the remnant Jade Mo. Six-tailed Sky Fox. Skeleton 13 skeletons shouted a total of 18 monster names. Then all 18 monsters were listed. The most murderous undead. At this moment, he looked a little uneasy. I saw Adon slowly raise his right hand, absorb all the undead within a radius of thousands of miles. Since I'm going back, other weaker undead. There's no point in staying here anymore. Recesses, please. The soul flame in Dump's eyes burned violently. Then look at the starry sky, Master. I'll be back to you in a moment. Please wait a little longer. And Xiao Huang, who was exercising by the lakeside, Streamer and Chun, they all felt a very familiar atmosphere. At this time, Dump's figure passed through the space-time rift. It exudes an extremely domineering, undead aura. Then he knelt down on one knee towards Gao Peng. I am back. Dumb is getting stronger all the time, waiting for the owner's demolition at any time. Gao Peng was excited at the moment. It's not just because the Dumb level has reached 59 floors. I am even more happy for Dumb's safe and sound return. Then he patted him on the shoulder and came back just in time. We're about to head out to sea to the Neon Zone. I heard that there are 100 ghost musical instruments in the Neon area after the electricity is planted. They claim to have 8 million gods. Go and see what these gods are like. Dumb Wenyin nodded slightly. But after the master's command, Gao Peng led Dumb and them home. On the way, Xiao Huang suddenly said, Big One, you came back just in time to practice with me. This little bug is so boring to box. Lu Guang was annoyed and silent after hearing this. Stinky duck, you are sick. Obviously you begged me. and Aziz showed off his new look to Dum. The giant crocodile looked at Dum very nervously. I thought to myself what this thing was coming. What a fierce look. He was a terrifying black-clad ghost. But now it is being spit out casually by Xiao Baisher. Frozen into a giant ice sculpture. Nearly perished on the spot. Just now, Dum returns from the world of black fog. The rating reached a staggering 59 episodes. Gao Peng was just going to go to the Neon District. Meet the 8 million gods of neon myths and legends. Just take Dum with me. A moment later, we were in the Neon District. Several fishermen are collecting conch on the beach. Gao Peng asked indifferently, "Are you collecting monsters?" Unexpectedly, the fisherman suddenly knelt on the ground. Trembling replied to Lord Gashi, "It's a white-flesh conch. On a sunny day, they will climb to the cliff face to bask in the sun. When it's about to rain, they will expose their white flesh, climb back into the sea. At this time, you can take the opportunity to scrape their exposed white flesh. It can be used as sashimi." There are some differences in Gao Peng's language. I've seen a lot of monsters that didn't attack. Some are indeed mild. Even close contact and stroking are no problem. But I've never heard of it yet. You can cut the flesh with a knife. Rows of data suddenly appeared. The name of the monster is the White Demon Luo. Monster level, level 17. Monster quality, normal quality. Long-term use is easy to become addictive. Eventually, the toxin stacked up and completely paralyzed. Become his puppet and be devoured by him. Gao Peng was stunned. Dao really doesn't have a free lunch. What seems harmless is often a trap. So he kindly reminded the fishermen to eat as little as possible here. The fishermen quickly nodded their heads and swore. Then the basket is presented to the adult. That's what we're getting today. Seeing this, Gao Peng secretly obeyed himself. It seems that the fishermen here have become seriously selfless. Just kindly reminded them, "But I want to hand over my harvest directly." He said that he did not want their harvest. Just tell yourself where this is. However, the fisherman saw that Gao Peng did not accept anything. His expression became uneasy, and he became uneasy. This is the lower gift island. Gao Peng nodded slightly after hearing this. It's still some distance from Kyoto. Last time I wanted to be a referee. This Kyoto's flat gate is the opposition of the vote. Drift this account to inherit first. Let's talk about it first. Meanwhile, the sky above one of the tallest buildings in Kyoto. An extremely large black shadow embraced the building, almost integrated into the entire building. And on the top floor of the building, the flatsmith with white hair holds the liquor. Closing thoughts. At this time, there was a lot of black fog near the room. Behind a leveling door, condensed into an illusory black head, a strong man came to the west of the master. Hearing this, the flat gate suddenly opened his eyes, strode to the floor-to-ceiling windows. Suddenly, I saw a row of king condensation beasts in the air, whistling close to the black. Go and stop them. The voice dissolves in the black fog outside the building. The behemoth pulled itself from the building. Infinite black fog rushes into the sky to block out the sun. Pedestrians on the road retreated. I saw the flying mist suddenly turn into a human form. Two massive black wings spread, soaring towards the sky. At this time, the flat drop door looks through the floor-to-ceiling windows. Watch as the black sage keeps shooting down undead behemoths. Not by the cold pit hand. A group of beam-jumping clowns. The building at his feet suddenly shook violently. The display in the room suddenly emits the following report. Flattening the Lord. A new spatial rift has been discovered on the island of Shikoku. Cloudy sky tree god. Attacked by a mysterious gashi that appeared in the crack. The flat gate was shocked when he heard this. His face turned pale in an instant, and another wave of people came. And the blackness outside the building. They are still slaughtering undead beasts. Gao Peng nodded slightly when he saw this. The pre-sale of the flat drop gate is somewhat level. Dumps army of the dead. I didn't even take advantage of it. This is the technician standing on top of Xiaoyan's head to infect. It's just a small character. Look at my Xiao, Yin snorted coldly. If you don't give it a try, I'm going to dump you off. I saw the technician gently raise your right hand to condense the power of ice. The body that flew down was instantly clawed by the glacier giant. Tear into 4 pieces. Unexpectedly, the black fog dispersed and passed backwards. It seems to want to be reunited, even if he spews out a mouthful of frost when he sees this. The breath instantly froze the black mist into a huge ice sculpture. The flat drop door that just came to the roof of the building was stupid. Defeated so quickly. Suddenly, a monstrous flame erupted in the distance. It was as if an invisible nuclear bomb had exploded. The technician saw this. Chun Sheng said, "There was just a very powerful presale death. It's not far from us." Gao Peng broke out in a cold sweat when he heard this. Could it be the Neon Zone's guardian beast in Tian technique? But he is a level 54 sure quality, and it has a strong resilience and defense. Who could have killed him so simply? Then I stopped thinking about it. Let's deal with the matter of the peace generals first. He was originally in Neon Country, a well-known top-notch beast warrior, but now facing the surprise attack of the Black Lightning Thunder Eagle. It was wiped out in an instant by 100,000 volts of electricity. Just now, Gao Pengcheng's Xiaoyan flew to the roof of the Kyoto building. Then he jumped off the geese. Mouthful of fluent neon mother. Sorry for being an uninvited guest. Mr. Flat Door. In fact, because he was attacked and killed some time ago. The killer turned out to be a neon man. In order not to have unnecessary misunderstandings between us. So I came over to ask about the situation. Flat. The descending gate stood in front of a monster with the body of a chicken and a snake tail. He speaks fluent Chinese. I'll give you an answer. Gao Peng was surprised. I didn't expect you to speak Huaxia so well. The flat gate snorted coldly. I've been to China before and bled blood. Although my presale was seriously injured as soon as it came up, I'm still willing to believe that it was just a misunderstanding. Hopefully we have the next conversation. It can be done without misunderstanding each other. As he spoke, he took out the projector. Please take a look at the collapse of the mountains in this picture. Hideous cracks like scars. Solid on the mountain peaks and the earth. At the top of the mountain, the monk's chest was pierced by metal spikes through his heart. It was like a spear fixed on the ground. And the cloudy sky tree god behind him was cut off by the waist. Cherry blossoms slowly fall around it. Gao Peng was extremely shocked when he saw this scene. I didn't know what to say for a while. Flattening the gate in Different Island. This is the footage that the drone has just transmitted. The cloudy tree god was attacked and killed. That's what happened to the earthquake just now. Please take a look at this picture again. 4 green-haired youths camped next to the cloudy sky tree god. Check out. Behind him stood a 6-meter-tall classical play. This is a black general. A flash of lightning came out of his eye. The video feed was cut off instantly. The face of the flat descendant is solemn. Sync to this point where the drone is destroyed up. The last picture that came, facial recognition around the world. The result was that there was no such person. We use a state-of-the-art system. There is no possibility of omission. Gao Peng thought to himself after hearing these words. I probably know the origin of this group of people in my heart. When I met North Qingyan before, he guessed, before the center of the earth, there must have been a strong presale text. Right? It was only later that for some reason he left the center of the earth. And Beikinjian said that they would come back. After the center of the earth gradually became suitable for survival. We'll come back one by one. Now it seems that these fellows are not good. At this time, the flat door said softly, our current forces are not able to withstand these people. For the sake of our 2 regions, we are in the same breath. Please also ask Gao Jun to help. Gao Penguinian is straight to the point. I have 2 requirements. First, I won't show it up. You can video the conversation directly to me. Second, if the enemy is too strong, I'll leave the neon zone right away. The flat door nodded in English after listening. The current situation is not for him to refuse. Later, Gao Peng suggested that the other party was not good. The strength of the people sent over should not be too low. The flat door nodded slightly. Elephants don't talk to ants well. I will go in person. Meanwhile, a green-haired youth looks at the neon district, shouting out the red elephant. This is what the ancestors called the ancestral emperor. The green-haired fat man smiled indifferently after hearing this. It should be. The red devil wants to say that this ancestral emperor is indeed quite rich. As soon as he came out, he met a Wang Ji. The strength is quite powerful. At least 4 stars. The red devils are here to help. At the same time, secretly observe the expression of the girl behind her. It's not like I've been slashed by my one-eyed troll. My one-eyed troll is a surprise, specialized in the formation of wood. The girl heard the loud shouting of the same demon. Snort softly. Holding the big golden hairball, he didn't say a word. At this time, a black eagle suddenly flew in the sky. The boy standing on the edge of the cliff spat out a few words. Someone's coming. The red devils don't care about the local people. When I came over this time, my dad asked us to check the strength of these natives. Tell the truth about these indigenous. It's just immigrants who were abandoned by us in the first place. What can be a strong consciousness? After that, let the same voice command the black lightning thunder. Tone went to test it. At this time, the landing gate is on the rat reef. Found out where they were. Gao Peng is in a monitoring room. Observe the situation in real time. At this moment, the face of the flat door suddenly became solemn. I'll get a little closer. If you test the other party, please ask Gao Junma. The voice fell. The black shop thunder suddenly appeared above him. Just listen to the boom. A flash of lightning exploded, like a thunderbolt spear through the heavens and the earth. Not even a chance to say the last words. The 12 elders of the Imperial History Alliance are one. Ping Shoumin died on the spot. This scene made Gao Peng Yeren eclipsed. In terms of the speed and power of this lightning, the opposite side is at least Wang Ji's strategy. The staff in the surveillance room suddenly shouted, "Track down the target." They went to the Higashida base. In the video screen, the limbs are pre-sold. The monster level has basically reached the peak of the king's set. However, Gao Peng breathed a sigh of relief about this. It's just because there are no legendary quality pre-sales among them. Otherwise, you can only run away. It stands to reason. This kind of upfront reconnaissance will definitely send out a high-end strategy. This says it is for them. Legend has it that the quality is not cabbage either. Then in the case of the same rank. But quality is everything. The rib juggernaut returns. How strong can the world be? In the face of Wang Ji's peak black lightning thunder eagle's power deeds, the bone domination instantly switches to the Ean's soul master. A slight grip of 5 fingers can kill it instantly. Just now, the red devil set off to the outskirts of Dongtian City, trying to take the whole city for himself. At this time, a moo of worry appeared on Tongling's face. Think of a city with a larger population. The number of strong people you have will also increase. It is proposed to return to the Santong tribe first. The bronze statue on the side is right to follow the reinstatement of the old age. We've completed the reconnaissance mission in the Neon Zone. It's better to go back early. Otherwise, it may be dangerous. But the demons didn't care. Said that he would not go back. Even if there is a strong person, you have to challenge it. With that, he ordered the one-eyed troll to release the king's breath. Draw out the strong men of the city. And his ultimate goal is to pretend to be forced. Let Tonglin know. He is the strongest of the Sangtong tribe. But the one-eyed troll released his breath for 10 minutes. None of the imperial historians of Winter City came out to meet the battle. Several people were also preparing to return to the tribe. At this point, the homophony is noted. Something in the air was rapidly approaching. Immediately ordered a few people to prepare for battle. And what Tongyin saw was a fighter jet. Just a good friend. Ask the pilot how long it will be until winter. The facts are a mess. Raging black lightning. Rushing at a breakneck speed. Gao Peng's expression was full of disdain when he saw this. It was really barbaric. Actually, I'll leave it to you. Melting the enro to ice. Condensed outside the fighter. Into a circulating barrier of ice. There was a thud of black lightning slashing across the ice barrier. But only a small hole can be torn in the surface of the barrier. Seeing this, the knife shed smiled indifferently. It seems that these fellows is completely focused on the development of pre-sales. Civilization science technology is not open at all, and the same mold below is a little worse. Mistakenly thought that the fighter was a pre-sale of elite soldiers. It's a new breed I've never seen before. So immediately the one-eyed troll was listed. Give him a big guy first. I saw a bright golden light erupt in the eyes of the leading troll. Intense golden pillars of light break through the fighter's ice barrier. As a result, the fighter wing was damaged and began to fall rapidly. Gao Peng immediately reminded the pilot that the plane was no longer working. You don't have to worry about me. Jump for your life. With that, he kicked open the hard hatch of the fighter, stepping on the icy steps that are both condensed. Go down. He also instructed the technician to use the sky to smash the hair downward. The one-eyed troll was completely frozen in the rest of the story. The bronze statue was like a sword, and immediately ordered the 6 cliffs to be overlooked. Wake up the trolls with a spirit blaster. Just listen to a long smile. The 6-cliff model is suspended in the air. Directly below, the invisible ripples are transmitted in all directions. The spirit blaster awakens the frozen poison-eyed troll. At this time, Taming ordered the black lightning thunder eagle to attack again. But there is always an ominous premonition in my heart. Gao Peng looked at Mei Ying, the black shop that was rushing in. I can't help but sigh that this is the one who defeated the leveling gate. Is the pre-sale really fast? Dumb to turn into a road. Dumb came to him in an instant. There is a strong smell of death all over the body. Red was shocked to see this. This man actually has 2 jade beasts. Not to say, only a special constitution that is extremely rare in legends. Can you sign a lot of jade beasts without restrictions? Is it said that he is the Eucharist? I saw the undead goose in Dumb's eyes, burning violently. Secondly, the deep area of the valley gradually fades in color, quickly grayed out. The vast and huge soul swept the whole world, murderous and furious. Fourth, the rain is over, became from the sea. Switch from valley domination to soul domination. Just turned on and aimed at the black lightning thunder that flew in. The black lightning thunder was instantly covered by the flames of the dead. Just listen to the sound of the air. The black lightning thunder was slammed to the ground. The soul was completely wiped out in an instant. The death of the black lightning thunder is reflected on the homonym. A mouthful of blood spurted out of his mouth. Immediately afterwards, the body collapsed uncontrollably to the ground. A hysterical growl came out of his throat, and he ran. We are not opponents. Seeing this, the bronze statue dragged the bronze bell and fled backwards. At the moment, he just wanted to run for his life as soon as possible. Unexpectedly, Adam's figure suddenly appeared in the head of the 6 cliffs. The red elephant immediately ordered the 6 cliffs to be repelled by the pan elephant, and he left. Don't fight. In an instant, the 6 cliffs are painted towards Adon with a course project, but it was easily blocked by Dumb with one hand. Followed by, pull out a long fortune from the top of the head of the 6 cliffs. The source only heard a dream of the 6 cliffs and died on the spot, and the soul in his body was absorbed by Dumb. An eruption of undead aura knocked the bronze statue and bronze bell into the air instantly. He was a fearsome, oakless hell. But once he was. But it's a cloudy god who was cut off by someone. It's only because it's been corroded by the dumb flame of the undead. To be resurrected. Just now. Dumb erupted with a fierce aura of undead. Defeat all the younger generation of the Samtong tribe. But it didn't hurt the killer. It just made a few people fall into a snack. Then, Gao Peng walks over to the frozen poison-eyed troll. The technician asked the guy what to do. Gao Peng Lung Hung took prisoners, and we already have them. What do you keep this kind of person for? Smash them to pieces. The technician's eyes narrowed. Snap your fingers with a snap. Frozen one-eyed trolls and fellow demons. Instantly reduced to pieces. A moment later, the captured bronze statue had just awakened. He kept speaking the language of the Samtong tribe. But Gao Peng didn't understand at all. Let the technician translate it. They said they were from the Samtong tribe. There is one person who said. His father was the high priest of the tribe. The girl said. His father was the deputy head of the tribe's hunting group. Their elders are willing to pay the price to buy it for them. Gao Peng pondered for a moment. It seems that the status is not low. What about the man who was frozen to pieces? Is said indifferently that it was the son of the patriarch of the Samtong tribe. Gao Peng thought to himself after hearing this. Are the people of this tribe insane? Actually sent this kind of second-generation official to inquire about intelligence. I don't want to get involved in the bitter hunt. Why don't you kill all of them? No one knew I did it. But it seems to perceive what the owner thinks. The undead geese in their sockets erupted wantonly. A cold, murderous aura leaked. Taming, who has been silent. Suddenly, he said loudly, "You kill me." Mourning the same tribe. Men are never afraid of death. After hearing this, Gao Peng said lightly, "He really is backbone." Then I'll meet your words. The music is dumb and twisted. The soul of the same sound is overbearing. The sparkle in his eyes disappeared in an instant. This is a small shell ice cone hitting Gao Peng's face. I saw that the technician's face was full of seriousness. And Chen Sheng said Gao Peng. You're not in the right mood right now. Gao Peng was stunned. I don't understand what it means. At this time, Dumb came over and explained the master. Maybe you're under my influence. When my strength increases, I will give you a soul backbone. My soul enhancement is obtained by killing lives. So we'll also pass on some strength to you, although the vast majority has been filtered. The technician then added, it should be that Aiden's strength has improved too quickly, and the quality is too high. However, this does not have a big impact. This effect disappeared after a while. Gao Peng patted his cheek after listening to this explanation. Organize your feelings. Then he smiled brightly, said to the bronze statue, just kidding you guys. Now let's get down to business. All of the following materials. As long as you elders can come up with one, I'll send you back. Remember, the real dragon fruit is destroyed by the original stone. 0-degree light. Valkyrie shell. The star of heavenly fire has said 18 materials. The bronze statue looked dazed when he heard this. I've never heard of any other than real dragon fruit. Subsequently, Gao Peng set off to the place where the cloudy sky tree fell. Muttering to himself, the cloudy sky tree is not a combat type. Even if it can be resurrected, increased combat effectiveness is dispensable. But his aura of tranquility maybe will ease my stress from being a dumb feedback. Little swallow. We went down to the knife shed and looked at the severed cloudy tree. You did your best with mixed feelings. In order to live, all life is struggling with all its might. After that, let Dumb try to resurrect him. Between classes, snow-white flames of the dead enveloped the entire Een. The bronze statue behind Tianshu saw this. The complexion of this man was originally a Eucharist. It is now also possible to convert dead jade beasts into undead. It's also too perverted. I hope the elders know that I was captured. Don't be impulsive. In an instant, the Een heaven god suddenly resurrected. The pink cherry blossoms turned blood red. The diamond-shaped trunk epidermis is poisonous. The black aura of blood shimmered slightly. Rows of data suddenly appeared. Monster name. Hell has no image to change one. Monster level, Level 54, Monster Quality, Sure Quality. Monster Attributes seen. Undead monster abilities are stimulated by a killing aura. Violent aura stimulation. The fear aura stimulates the monster traits hell as follows. Gao Peng's face looked like constipation when he saw this. The aura of tranquility I wanted. How did it become an aura of violence? But these auras can at least conquer their teammates. However, there is the value of focus training. It took a month to return to Nantion Group. 2 beams, 1 red and 1 black, break through the marketing. Swiftlet has successfully evolved into an Asian regional quality. Reached legendary quality. A huge flame bloomed in the air. In the prime of life, Lu Guang also evolved into Hei Kai to write and recognize. A fierce killing aura erupted from his body. Gao Peng was very satisfied when he saw this. Don't waste yourself in Kyoto. It took a month of searching to arrive. I saw Lu Guang suddenly running towards the woods. Gao Peng thought he was going to train. I was very relieved. And Xiao Huang and the technician are enjoying the shade on the side. Xiao Huang suddenly felt a chill. The technician told him not to care. It must be less sun. At this time, Lu Guang stood under the big tree. Liangshan is high. I found myself 10 centimeters shorter than I was before I was evolutionary. Lying on the ground, crying bitterly, Gao Peng, you lied to me. I said yes, it would help me grow taller. When the eldest son heard the cry, he came over to comfort him and wanted to open up. Although you have become shorter, but it's getting stronger. Lu Guang became even more angry when he heard this. After that, Gao Peng looked. Fortune to the sleeping one. It also evolved into carbon real water. The quality has reached epic quality, but the combat effectiveness is still weakened. Then I suddenly found out. As the power of one's own soul grows stronger, you can see the peak quality of the monster. When the pre-sale promotion is processed, Gao Peng is in a good mood, so I decided to go and see the 3 captured alive from the Goddess Peak. The Jade Hand and the eldest son are still mocking at the moment. Keep saying that the little man is in a hurry. He was originally a terrifying dragon goddess, but now it has been affected by natural disasters. The boar's big ass is instantly killed. Just now, Gao Peng successfully made Xiaoyan Streamer and Zhaokai evolve. Decided to go and see from the Goddess Peak. 3 Jade Hands captured alive. After that, he left for the Abin Special Confinement Cell. Unexpectedly, Gao Peng greeted him with a smile. After opening the stone door, a punching bag the size of a fist from the dimly lit room. Fortunately, the big character reacted in time to push Gao Peng away. Xiao Huang is basking in the sun. I heard movement in the back mountain. Hurriedly got up and went over to check. And this loud bang. It was the stone spring that came out of the mountain wall. At this time, in front of the stone gate, standing proudly, stood a gargoyle giant with a good face. Rows of data suddenly appeared. Monster name: Dragon Goddess Monster Level 56 Episode King Collection. Monster Quality Legendary Quality Monster Attributes. Stone Mysterious Monster Ability. Hard Body Level 5. Intensive Regenerative Healing Stimulation. Strengthens the power to stimulate the monster trait Phantom Clone. It has a great ability to restrain dragon monsters. At this time, the eldest son stood in front of Gao Peng's life. There is murderous intent in your eyes, and you stand back. This stone is not friendly at all. Gao Peng hurriedly shouted at him to step down. Unexpectedly, the dragon slaying chapter in the hands of the dragon, descending goddess shines brightly. After the light shines on the eldest child during recess, please. The body suddenly became so heavy, and you can't use the power of the thunder element. Seeing this, the knife shed was shocked, and it was actually the dragon slaying vein. Face the drop. All dragon monsters of the Dragon Priestess will be humiliated. It's even worse if the level is lower than him. Elemental power will be sealed. It's equivalent to throwing you a shot directly. At this time, Xiao Yan's mouth let out a sharp nomination. The movements of the dragon descending goddess suddenly became soul-lost kung fu. Xiao Huang took the opportunity to save Dolly, followed by a Big B slapped the dragon goddess in the face. Unexpectedly, Big B didn't let her suffer the slightest damage. The next moment, the dragon descending goddess threw a powerful meteor fist at Xiao Huang. The whirlwind pulled out a long black shadow. Gao Peng was bold when he saw this. Although the quality of the little yellow, it's exactly the same as you, the dragon god. But in terms of level, he is several pounds ahead of Xiao Huang. What's more, there was a catastrophe between them. Just listen to the boom. The low, muffled sound of collision echoed through the air. It was Dump's left arm that swung out. Stop in front of Xiao Huang to block this punch. Seeing this, Gao Peng immediately asked Xiao Huang to retreat first. But Xiao Huang is very worried about whether Dump can carry Gao Peng. Reassure him. There's also Xiaoyan here. Whispering music, Xiaoyan flew from the flanks. A violent Jupiter swallow erupted from its mouth, but it fell on the surface of the body of the dragon descending goddess and quickly extinguished. There is no external evil in the slightest. This scene made Gao Peng sigh lightly. Only a slight burning state can be maintained. It's not powerful enough. Xiao Huang thought for a moment after hearing this. Then he waved at Xiao Yin and shouted loudly at Bai Yuan. Spit on me? Xiao Yin was furious when she heard this. A violent Jupiter feast spat out toward Xiao Huang. The old lady is the ward. In an instant, Jupiter swallows swirled around Xiao Huang. Like a roast yellow duck awakened in the flames. Dump and the dragon goddess are fighting the meat ghosts. The dense sound of impact echoed in the air. But Dump's level is now as high as level 60. The long hand-to-hand combat was undoubtedly a victory for Dump. The dragon goddess was cracked by Dump in many places. Unexpectedly, his body suddenly blurred. Activate the skill. Phantom clone, data clone. Instantly surrounded the Dump. But Dump was still expressionless about this. Prepare to summon your undead to fight. Then, Abin's ass rose like a mountain. Dump, I'm here to help you. A thud in the sky. Abin's ass. Embed the dragon descending maiden into the ground. But Abin didn't know about it. Mistake. I thought that Dump had just taken down the dragon descending goddess. At this time, Adon turned into a dark shadow and came to the technician. The technician, on the other hand, was shocked by Abin's operation. What a weird presale this is. It's crazy, isn't it? Subsequently, Gao Peng saw that Abin had successfully controlled the situation. I decided to test out Helnoa Oaks. The beauty of the tree aura. Recesses, please. The infernal oakless tree glows with a lilac glow. The two colors of Confucius complement each other on the little yellow Dump. Parents who have been given an aura of killing and violence. Now Xiao Huang has superimposed 164 times the passive. The body size reached 20 years. Said to Gao Peng Chin Sheng, I have nothing to fear now. Abin, you let him go. I'm going to have a fair one-on-one duel with him. After listening to it, Abin honestly lifted his ass and moved it back. After that, Xiao Huang stood in front of the dragon goddess and mocked. It was fierce just now. Now I can't stand up. As the words fell, the dragon goddess stood up suddenly. Shoot a spark punch at the little yellow face door. Unexpectedly, this punch did not hurt Xiao Huang at all. Sense of difference. Xiao Huang grabbed the arm of the dragon descending goddess and spun it at high speed. Then he turned his body upside down, slammed it on the ground. At this moment, the dragon goddess was deeply embedded in the ground, and Xiao Huang stood in front and laughed heartily. How lonely it is to be invincible. Dragons since ancient times. It is a powerful and majestic, mysterious creature. It is believed, where dragons exist, there is auspiciousness. At the beginning of each year, families, every household will take out delicious food to worship the dragon god. Pray for a smooth new year. But now, these are extremely ugly-looking black water eyes. He took pleasure in sucking the blood of human beings, caused countless humans to die at the hands of his dragon. It also caused floods to throw humans into wells. Just now, Xiao Huang sent it to the onion. Embed the dragon goddess into the rock. The first division immediately condensed the power of ice in his hands. Freeze the dragon descending goddess completely. Immediately after that, Abin lifted the pig's paw and fell fiercely. The shattered dragon descending goddess turned into 3 white rays of light. They are the 3 types of monsters before the fusion. Seeing this, the knife shed sighed lightly. Why bother? He was already seriously injured. Let you recuperate for a month to heal from your injuries. As a result, I got a fusion monster to make trouble. Now 1 dead and 2 wounded. But the dragon slaying chapter has too much restraint on dragon monsters. It must be in my hands. His restraint is not a simple attribute. Rather, it resembles a collective weakening of the realm. In the case of a level advantage, you can also enter the demon. My grandfather and I both have dragon jade hands. If it doesn't work for me, then it can only be destroyed. Meanwhile, next to a stranded ship on the riverside in Wuxia City, lying there was a group of explorers who had suffered heavy casualties. At this point, a man looked ahead. There was a frightened look on his face. Kept yelling for help, and in front of it was a huge black beast, and slender as a snake. There was a thick black mist all around. I just woke up and saw a bunch of nasty people. Maybe that's the special fate. The voice fell. A pale blue beam of light erupted from the black beast's mouth. The figure on the man's face quickly disappeared. The ruddy skin becomes shriveled and scorched. A moment later, the black behemoth hovered above the flawless clan. The gloomy sky was dripping with dense raindrops. Between classes, a beast-like flood hit the city center. Pedestrians on the road avoided this one after another. Just a few minutes, the Immaculate Chamber was completely covered by the flood, reduced to a maritime city. At this time, the people in the command war room in Wuxia City slapped the table suddenly. Why is there a sudden flood in the city? Are the people in the prosecution department eating? Such important information. Why hasn't it been passed down now? Another person in the room slumped in a chair. This flood is not a natural phenomenon. It should be the dragon's ability. It can cause flooding. And Gao Peng. I also received the news of the disaster in Wuxia City at the first time. I heard that the flood had broken through the walls. The lives of millions of people in the city are in danger. So he took a group of pre-sellers and hurried to Wuxia City. On the way, he kept urging the eldest son to speed up. The eldest son was also very anxious after hearing this. With the help of the momentum of thunder and lightning, the speed is increased several times. Like a bolt of lightning in the sky. A moment later, they came to the flooded Immaculate Room. There are no data corpses floating on the water. And in front of him, he saw a black dragon, is constantly devouring the corpse of the princess. A feast that devours like gluttony. Rows of data suddenly appeared. Monster name, Blackwater Eye. Monster level 59 Prince. Monster quality legendary quality monster, attributes water-based mix. Blood monster ability, water elemental mastery level 5. Soul devouring stimulation. Sharp dragon claws. Level 3 enhanced healing level 4 monster trait water riot. Soul devouring bone eater Gao Peng finished reading his attributes. Secretly in my heart, isn't this the dragon slaying chapter Zhang Tianke? It's a pity that I haven't had time to take it yet. Otherwise, this operation can be easily won. Followed by. Suddenly, it is discovered that the black water-eye dragon is sucking human life. He was able to recover from his injuries. So he immediately ordered Adon to step forward, prevent him from continuing to absorb. As the words fell, Adam's figure exploded and flew out. A black and red eye of the dead condensed in his hand. Just listen to the sound of the air. The eye of the dead slammed into the eye of the black water. The devoured soul quickly dissipates and dissolves. The black water-eyed dragon was in pain and immediately threw it out of the dragon gate towards Dum. But he was easily dodged by Dum. Chun Sheng, a technician watching the battle below, said, "This black dragon is a little tricky, even if it hasn't been restored yet. Dum is probably not an opponent either. I'm going to help." Gao Peng nodded slightly. "His attacks can hurt souls. Be careful to dodge his attacks." In an instant, the technician turned into a frost servant. Leap into the black water eye. The black water eye dragon saw this. A ball of soul light erupted from his mouth. I saw that it was a bend of the waist and abdomen. While dodging attacks, the double-hole aurora in the lion's mouth quickly condensed. Just out of thin air, double-hole aurora beams hit the black water eye dragon face gate straight away. The right eye was instantly frozen into ice. The intense pain made his temper more and more irritable. In an instant, he suddenly flew into the sky. Violent and dense rain came suddenly. The knife shed saw this. Immediately ordered him to stop him from changing the battlefield. The more moisture in the air, the more destructive he can do. The icy power in the technician's eyes exploded suddenly. The rain that had been frenzied was frozen in an instant. Screaming at the current situation made Gao Peng a little flustered. In terms of physical fitness, Dum can't fight the black, snake-eyed dragon. Inflicts a crushing effect. And Dum is really the main ability. It's not a single thing either. The ability to really be used in auxiliary combat. Only the heart of a hero. Although the Big Purple, Xiao Yin and Xiao Huang are also legends. But now it's only the 5th century. They are 3 salted fish. I can't exert much momentum at all. This is Gao Peng. It's the first time I've encountered such a tricky enemy. And another point. Black-eyed dragon. It is being suppressed by the technician and the dumb. Then, his gaze suddenly locked on Gao Peng, who was in charge of the battle. Suddenly, he opened his bloody mouth and flew towards Gao Peng. Prepare to capture the thief and capture the king first. He was supposed to be a man, the feared Frost Lion Emperor. Now it is the Black Water-Eye Dragon. The fight was powerless, was even beaten back to the state of a juvenile body. Appeared on the spot female secret. Just now, the Black-Eyed Dragon suffers from sacrifices. The double suppression of the room dumb. Unexpectedly, he suddenly opened his bloody mouth. Go to Gao Peng. The Emperor saw this. Gather the power of ice on the commander. A claw of ice. Grab 3 rivers of blood on the back of the Blackwater Dragon. The Blackwater Wild Dragon looked at Gao Peng, who was gradually moving away. An unwilling roar came out of his mouth. Gao Peng, who was retreating, sudden awareness of extreme danger. Hurriedly let Xiao Huang jewelry exhibit in the field of forbidden motorcycles. Almost at the same time, the sea rushed into the sky like a flood beast. But it was all excluded by the forbidden field. The technician saw this. I can't help but sigh at the powerful water element blast. Fortunately, the stupid duck is by Gao Peng's side. The voice fell. The Black Water-Eye Dragon suddenly turned around slyly. He opened his mouth and washed away at the technician. Sharp dragon claws tear apart. Technician vintage. Directly scratched out a 5-meter-long blood mark. The pain was so intense that the technician's eyes sharpened. Palatable bites the neck of the Black-Eyed Dragon. And the Black Water-Eyed Dragon also has a backhand. Bite him in the belly. If you dodge, I won't be able to catch you. Now you're dead. At this time, the fierce light in the technician's eyes became more and more intense. You can't escape from being a fool. Gao Peng saw this. The expression was instantly solemn. The lion wants to use the surging field. The surging field is a desperate effort. Can inflict terrifying damage within the radius. But the side effects of this trick, it will put the sacrifice to sleep. Dumb. The soul flame in the literati's eyes exploded suddenly. Lions, don't be impulsive. The host will be sad. The voice fell, and Dumb put his hands crossed on his chest. It exudes the flame of the undead in the whiteness of the body. Switch from sea bone domination to soul domination. Then press down with your palm. A flood of soul power poured into the black water eye, the top of the dragon's head. But the black water-eyed dragon under the red pain not only did not let go. Instead, bite harder. Seeing this, the knife shed broke out in a cold sweat. Even if it's a peak lord level, under the impact of such a huge soul of Dumb, I will faint in an instant. This black dragon is not simple, and Dumb didn't know when he switched to the sea bone master. Pull out a slender rib from the body. I saw a massive amount of blood-red light erupt from my ribs. It can be seen that Dumb clutched his ribs and threw them down, like dark black lightning bolts across the sky. Just hear a bang. The long fur pierces the belly of the blackwater-eyed dragon. Rich dead and began to eat away at his body. There was a mighty wail from his mouth. Then Gao Peng flew over on his eldest son. Catch the slowly falling sacrificial chamber. Looking at the black-eyed dragon fleeing into the flood, Gao Peng breathed a sigh of relief. It seems that Dumb consumes the nirvana of his own bones. It still frightened the dragon, although the technician was seriously injured. But fortunately, the revolutionary ability was not used, even if you can leave the black dragon behind. But it will fall into a deep sleep completely. This year's hard work, it will all be put into flowing water. And the Wuxia clan went through this battle. It was completely destroyed. A rich and bright red smell permeates the heavens and the earth. A moment later, Abin and the brain of growth. And when the little flower feels flawless. Gao Peng's face was slightly small when he saw this, and it was just right. Xiaohua is here to heal the technician. Then Dumb whispered in Gao Peng's ear to stop. The black dragon was fleeing south. Gao Peng's expression was gentle when he heard this. This black dragon is able to devour souls and recover from injuries. If he continues to enter the number of kills, that would be a devastating disaster. If only I could have been before this war. Accept the words of the Lady God and the dragon slaying chapter. This black water-eyed dragon is a larger black. It's not so hard to fight at all. So I decided to do it immediately. This black dragon was completely wiped out. At this time, the black water-eyed dragon was still desperately trying to escape. But the severely injured body causes the speed to become slow. Hospitality room. A flash of purple lightning exploded not far in front of him. When he turned his head, Dumb was found riding the black lightning thunder. The skeleton has already chased after him. The black water-eyed dragon's heart moved. Around the body, countless swirling water vortices are condensed at high speed. Thunder and lightning collide with a whirlpool. The blue-purple light flickered violently. At this time, Dumb jumped from the black lightning thunder eagle, kicked hard at the black water-eyed dragon. But the face does not want. Thick dragon claws suddenly pierced Dumb's chest. But the next moment, Dumb erupted with a violent undead aura. The black water-eyed dragon was shocked when he saw this. You actually made your own hairy dots. Resonate with the previous Mao. Let the soul power invade my body. You and that lion are both insane. At this time, Dumb switches to the soul master. The body hangs high in the air. It's too late now. The resonance is irreversible. You can die. The black water-eyed dragon felt death coming. Condensing a ball of soul light in his mouth is considered death. I'm going to pull a cushion on my back too. He was a feared master of the sea. But now in order to save the master from fire and water. Recently, the fine burning soul incarnated into a white bone demon god. Just now, Dumb should eat. The black water-eyed dragon is a soul slap. Instantly switched to the state of the shadow domination. The rich death chi frantically poured into the body of the black water-eyed dragon. At this time, the black water-eyed dragon felt the threat of death. A dark blue swirl ball of light condensed from his mouth. Even if it's dead, I'm going to pull a pad backplate as well. Please take a rampant and swift swirl of light between classes. Squirting from its mouth. The black water-eyed dragon's dying counterattack was extremely sudden. Gao Peng simply couldn't react in time. Just listen to the sound of the air. The vortex ball of light was blocked by a behemoth that suddenly appeared. Live in smoke. After the dust dissipated, he realized it behemoth. It turned out to be a huge white applause. I saw Adam turn into one. The bone demon god standing tall. It exudes an extremely domineering, undead weapon all over its body. Gao Peng was shocked when he saw this scene. Today's dumb. Caught in some kind of god-in-god realm. It's like a myth and legend. The undead aura suddenly skyrocketed a few more points. The black water-eyed dragon saw this. Hurriedly fled towards the city behind him. Think that you just need to suck the soul of the city. There is still a chance to turn the tables. Just hear a bang. Dumb fist like a mountain. The black water-eyed dragon smashed it. His head was instantly smashed into a puddle of flesh. Gao Peng was a little surprised when he saw this. He actually killed this dragon king with one punch. Dumb in the state actually has this kind of power. But it made the white bone demon god behind Dumb. The phantom suddenly dissipated. The aura on his body also became extremely weak. A lotus flower blooms in the air. Subsequently, Gao Peng found a very weak Dumb in the woods. Asked softly how the status is. Dumb made a faint voice from his mouth, Master. I'm fine, it's just too much consumption. Gao Peng breathed a sigh of relief after hearing this. It's okay, you're fine. You can always raise it back if you raise it slowly. But you were too fierce just now. Do you remember that state just now? Dumb thought for a moment, then shook his head silently. After that, Gao Peng pointed to the death-hungry black water-eyed dragon. Let Dumb try to see if he can transform it. Dumb then unleashes the flame of the dead. But because of the lack of a faucet, as a result, the black water-eyed dragon cannot be resurrected. Seeing this, the knife shed nodded slightly, and it was okay. Go back and contact the nearby Nantion staff. Just transport the body back. Let's go back first. A base is negative. There are a lot of things to deal with next. A few days later, the body of the Blackwater bunker was transported to the Nantion group. Inside the factory, the staff started in an orderly manner. Dispose of the corpse outside the door of Experimental Area 3. Huangya and Saherdi are handing over the work. I'll leave it to you here. Gao Xiao said important materials. For example, the liver and bone marrow. Spine is all part of the process. Some other minor bones. There are also flesh scales that can be portioned to them. Su Hedi nodded slightly after hearing this. No problem. I heard about Xiao Dong. Didn't you want to sign that dragon-slaying heavenly seal? Did it work? Huangya was indifferent. In the afternoon, Gao Xiao told him that the black dragon had been killed. So the contract was immediately successful. Huangya couldn't help but think of the weapon here. If the contract is successful before the black dragon is struck, maybe Wuxia City won't be destroyed directly. Gao Peng at this time. I am reporting to the mayor in the room about the situation in Wuxia City. The mayor frowned. In fact, the destruction of the base city did not happen. Not to mention Wuxia. The city is just a small and medium-sized base city. But no one in Wuxia City escaped alive. That's the ambassador. This event began to ferment. At the same time, it caused great panic among the people in the range. This morning, the District of Great Britain officially announced its withdrawal from the Union. Formation of the Holy Day Alliance. Afternoon, Southeast Asia and China. Gangnam City. The city of Jinling has declared independence at the same time. The Poseidon Alliance and the Freedom Alliance were formed. The World Alliance government's WeChat plummeted. There is also a large consortium in all the base cities of the world. Have recruited imperial history. Recruit the strong of the imperial history at a high price. Offered high salaries and plant retreats. The strong man of the imperial history instantly turned into a fragrant grandmother. The world is going to be chaotic again. So be it this time. Thank you very much, Mr. Gao, for your cooperation. The payout will also be transferred to your account immediately. After the video call ends, Gao Peng's expression became serious. It looks like the world is really going to be in chaos. Then Su Qing only brought a few old men to the room. Boss, this is the expert you asked us to invite. These are all professors of archaeological drama in Huaxia District. At this time, a professor said to Gao Peng. Chun Sheng said, I heard that you have ancient documents from ancient times. Give us the research. Let's start with that. If there is no Guan County, give me a plane ticket back to the city right away. I'm going to have a lesson for the students tomorrow. Gao Penguinian smiled slightly. Teachers, I guess I heard me wrong. I don't have Guan County from ancient times here, but there are 2 remnants of the ancient tribes. They should be able to be research material for teachers. The professors were shocked by these words. You actually got 2 primitive people to do research. He was originally a terrifying dark gold dragon. Can be at a young age. They have been by Gao Peng's side for several years. Outside, he is a bloodthirsty and furious purple electric demon god. And at home, but it's a little centipede that supports sugar and toothache. It needs Gao Peng's comforting care to sleep peacefully. But he's also an attentive little centipede. In Gao Peng because he was too tired. When you fall asleep on the couch, it will be very intimate to drag a blanket. Then he hugged Gao Peng with a happy face and slowly fell asleep. But now the Z wants to become stronger. Can always be by Gao Peng's side. He went to the unknown spatial rift alone to experience. Just now, Gao Peng found it when he looked up information on the internet. In the district of Great Britain, the Red Flood Dragon is entrenched above the city. A scorching flame enveloped the city. In the former sea of the Maldives, a giant turtle that looks like an island. A giant wolf with a fairy spirit. And the king in the video is extremely royal. All have one thing in common, on the top of their heads or on their backs. There is a person who is absolutely impossible to ignore. Gao Peng thought to himself, this all shows that they are not wild monsters. Rather, it has the master's jade hand. Before that, the world's known history of the royal set. Only grandfather and king. And the pulley of Gui Xuanxi. But now, overnight, there were 4 more Wang Ji Yushi. The world government is showing the power of the edifice. It is already difficult to save the world. And these imperial histories, it is very likely that the ancient tribes returned, sent from the Sangtong tribe, for unsettled Wang Ji Yushi to see. The strength of these tribes, far more terrifying than I could have imagined. Just as Gao Peng was thinking about the future countermeasures, Huang Yi called suddenly. Chairman Gao Shang returned with the guests. Gao Peng then opened the window. I saw the white dragon followed by a group of flying pre-sales. It's the guests who came from afar. At this time, a white-haired young man in the air arrived indifferently. Is this the ancestral land? It's a big city. However, there are too few strong people in the ancestral land. Even Wang Ji's pre-sale is so much. The blue-haired youth beside him shook his head in retort. The land has only been developed for a few decades. The number of their strong men will be endless. White-haired teenager literary language aggression influence. It's not that easy to catch up. As the words fell, Abin's huge figure suddenly became disgusted. I winked at a few people cutely, hello. Seeing this, Han Wu laughed heartily. This is also my grandson's jade hand. Very cute and obedient. His name is Abin. The white-haired boy was dumbfounded at this. It's not like it's okay. Is there only Wang Ji Jade Beast in the highest ancestral land? What the hell is this? Then Gao Peng brought a group of Wang Ji Jade Beasts to greet his grandfather. Seeing this, several people behind Han Wu discussed loudly. For Gao Peng, there are so many Wang Ji Jade Beasts. Skills, because each of them can only sign one jade hand. Seeing this, the white-haired boy couldn't help but guess. Don't. The reason why the ancestors wanted the tribe to return to their ancestral land. It's because Zudi can have more opportunities to sign up for pre-sales. Gao Peng looked at them and asked Grandpa suspiciously, "Who are they?" Ji Hanwu said indifferently, "I don't know if you have heard of it. They are on. The people of the ancient tribes. This group of people are like neurotics. You have to follow me." Gao Peng listened, whispered, "I was in Neon some time ago. I also met 4 people from the Sangtong tribe, killed 2 and captured 2 alive. A couple of experts were found, are learning their ancient scripts." After Han Wu listened to it, he frowned and waited. "You tell me the specifics. I'll help you with the tale of the hand. You just need to learn the old language in peace." Gao Peng nodded modestly. "I'm ready to learn the tribal language after that. Just go to the Black Mist world. Dum is already at the peak of his death. Just enter the world of Black Fog. You will be able to advance to the royal status immediately. These tribes, I like to send the strong men of the younger generation into the center of the earth. Manipulate the big picture like a trader. Then I'm going to have to get out of the game. The baths in the center of the earth are both protective and restrictive. If you stay in the center of the earth, you will always have to stay in the game. That's why I'm going to jump out even more. Let's set a small goal to dominate the Black Mist world." Cambrian was very pleased to hear this. "You can go out with confidence. The world needs young people like you to break through. I'll carry this for you." At this time, Xiao Yin suddenly flew quickly, shouting loudly that Gao Peng is not good. The eldest son is missing. Gao Peng heard this. How could he disappear with a solemn expression in an instant? "It's not that it's just because I feel too weak. Do you lose your temper and go out for a walk? And is there a pre-sale to follow him?" Xiaoyan was a little flustered. There was a pre-sale followed by a big one. But just yesterday the big word ran into a crack. Today that crack is gone. Subsequently, Gao Peng asked Xiao Yin to lead him to the place where Dzi disappeared. "Look." A moment later, I came to a lonely mountain. The surrounding plants are withered. Some were even talked to by Denzhou. Gao Peng casually picked up a withered leaf. "I usually play with Dzi. Recognized that the plants were swept by the Thunder Tiger. At this time, the technician looked at the scorched earth and came here indifferently. There are also traces of some spatial elements. There has indeed been an unstable space.